Here you go.
Good evening tonight. Panama City Dive Club, the dive club that dives. We've got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about tonight, some of which will be, we have a guest speaker. We'll be talking about the Aquanauts program and some other great things that I don't have my notes right in front of me to look at, so I'll talk about those as we go along. But right now I'd like to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker. His name is Mike Weiser. He is the Senior Sat Tech at the Navy Experimental Dive Unit, and he's got a presentation that he's going to put on for the Dive Club.
Thanks. It's great to be here. A few days ago, Eric reached out to me and asked me to share with you a little bit about, I guess, what we do and what we do in the Navy in relation to our POWs and MIAs. Just a little bit of background on myself. I'm a retired Navy diver. The last 12 years of my service, I served as a saturation diver. Most of you that are divers know what saturation diving is, and we're going to talk a little bit about what it is and the differences with just standard surface applied air diving or mixed gas diving, and the benefits that it plays into, especially in the mission that I'm going to talk about. It had significant benefits to dive this type of diving. So I'm going to start off, the mission that we did last year was in Papua New Guinea in the South Pacific Islands, and it was for our sponsor was the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency, or DPAA for short. And their purpose basically is to recover remains from our fallen soldiers and sailors and airmen wherever they might be. Typically, a lot of their work is in Vietnam, in the rivers in Vietnam, and in shallow waters off the coast of Vietnam. They reached out to us several years ago because they had found the wreckage of a B-24 bomber from World War II, and they wanted to recover the remains. But the depth of it was deeper than they had ever worked before. And when they heard that we had a system in the Navy that could dive deep enough to access it and excavate the site, that's when we started talking. It took several years because they first reached out right before COVID, of course, and we were all geared up to go on the mission when COVID hit and shut everything down. We had made some pre-deployment visits to Singapore, which is where we mobilized out of, and we were just not able to get in country and get anything worked out until COVID had passed, and so really it took until last year. So it took probably about 5 years to really make this happen. What I want to show first is a YouTube video. There's a couple YouTube videos that cover this mission. One of them was prior to the mission, and it was on, I think, a Fox News, just short. It's just a 2-minute video. But what this does is this identifies the group that actually found and positively identified the wreck site. So we'll see if we can cue this up real quick.
Daily they go up and daily they land.
You have to be able to read fast and then interpret what else might be written there. But this is the crew of Project Recover. They're the group that actually went out and found the site. found the site based on historical records. And this is actual video of the site. Part of the landing gear, one of the tires, that's one of the propellers. So this is a placard that was made by DPAA, and it was a poster that they had on the side of the van of the vessel that we were working off of, and it identifies all the 11 crew members that were lost in the bomber. All of them were lost. There was some historical reports of maybe one guy, because it was on a bombing run, so there were several other planes that were in formation, and so some of the witness accounts said that one of the guys may have parachuted out, and so they had one, because they had one parachute reported, and then we actually found a parachute on the bottom as well. And the thing that was significant about this site, I don't know how much wreck diving y'all have done. I've done a little bit of wreck diving. Every wreck I've ever dove on has been picked over because of so many people that have dove the site. What was neat about this site is it was literally untouched for 80 years. Nobody had ever dove it. It's close enough to offshore to the Papua New Guinea that it's protected waters. We had to get special permits to go in there, as Project Recover had to do too, to go in and just survey the site. In order to get those permits, one of the agreements they made is that they wouldn't be able to remove anything from the site. And so all of it is video images that are here. So this is just a slide showing the mission of DPAA and the things that they do. And as I mentioned before, their vision, their mission, and so on, and it's hard to kind of see or read all of this, but their sole purpose is to bring back our fallen soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. Go ahead. And so the mission objective, this is kind of what happened. Just a depiction of the B-24, and a lot of times coming into this, you can only imagine what these guys did on a daily basis. They were always getting shot at from anti-aircraft batteries that were in the islands, and they had a lot of down planes. And I didn't know this, but DPAA they've identified hundreds of sites that they want to go and look at now. This is just the first, hopefully, of many that we'll go and help them out with. And so this is the location off the northern coast of Papua New Guinea, just north of Australia. The site that we were diving was here. There was another site down here that was a fighter, and we had a team with us from Mobile Diving and Salvage Unit as well, and they brought their rebreathers, their Mark 16 rebreathers. And so one day when it was kind of rough, or we were setting up, I think, they went over to that site and actually recovered one of the 50 caliber machine guns from that site. And they had manifests of everything that should have been on the planes, and so from that manifest they found the serial number on the machine gun, and they could positively identify what plane that was and the crewmen that were inside. We recovered that just so that we could positively identify that site, and hopefully we'll be able to go back later and look for remains there. But our primary site was there at Heaven Can Wait. And this is some After Project Recover found it and had the location identified, there was another Navy team that came in with their side-scan sonar and took these images of the site, of the wreck site. They also had EOD people with them too. So EOD went down to see if there was any unexploded ordnance that we might have to deal with, and to basically clear the site. And this is the entire crew, composing NEDU people, DPAA, MUDSU, the Mobile Diving Salvage Unit, and so this is the entire crew. And then at the end, when we got back, it was a beautiful return trip back. On the way out to Papua New Guinea was stormy. On the way back was beautiful. I was able to go up and run literally underway every day, which was great. And we'd go through the shipping lanes, and then I'd be out there waving at the ships crossing and all of that. It was beautiful. When we got back, they had a repatriation ceremony, and I should have put some more pictures on it, in Singapore at the embassy. And so repatriation, basically they have a casket. They put what remains we were able to find in the casket, put a flag over it, and we had a couple admirals and some some local officials, and we basically had a little ceremony, funeral for them, which was really kind of neat. It helped us kind of close out what it was we were doing and the importance of what we were doing. So they were part of the Jolly Rogers, which was the 90th bombardment group of the 320th Bombardment Squadron, which was nicknamed Moby Dick. It was an Army Air Corps unit, and I'm not sure where they were stationed out of. So, good question. I should know that. Yes.
What was the issue with bringing back parts of the plane? Did they just think it was sacred, or what? What was it?
I'm not sure. No. Again, that was just, the permitting process was pretty extensive, and I'm glad that we didn't have to manage that. The DPAA guys did. But there's other missions they want to do there, so they want to keep in good graces with the country and the locals, so that we can come back. But they were well compensated for letting us do what we did. And before I close, this weekend is Veterans Day, and I just, if you don't mind, I would like to read the names of these guys, these 11 that gave their lives for their country, and if we can I'd just like to read their names, maybe have a quick moment of silence, and then to give them the proper respect that they deserve. And I think it is noteworthy that we're having it on this weekend on Veterans Day. So we've got Lieutenant Herbert Tennyson, Second Lieutenant Donald Shipwreck, Second Lieutenant Thomas Kelly Jr., Second Lieutenant Michael J. McFadden Jr., Tech Sergeant Edward Gorbison, Staff Sergeant Eugene Darrigan, Staff Sergeant Paul Martin, Staff Sergeant Walter Graves, Staff Sergeant Darnold Bird, Staff Sergeant Eugene Reinhardt, and Staff Sergeant John Emmer Jr. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
That's really a great presentation. Thank you.
Yes, outstanding.
Follow that, Charles.
Yeah, yeah, I ain't got nothing on that. All right,
If you ever want to talk about diving, SAT diving, I could probably, like, one of your future things, we
Definitely.
could set up a tour of NEDU if you're interested. So it'd just take me some time to get it all set up and everybody cleared, but the ocean simulation facility is pretty amazing. I've done a couple dives in it. In prep, before I retired, a lot of the equipment that we're using on this system that we deploy with, I did the 1,000-foot test dives on it. And so I did the 2,000 footers and certified all the helmet worn and diving backpack and all that stuff, all that equipment before I retired. So that was kind of neat. And then they hired me after I retired because we were 2 years away from certifying the system initially. It was initially certified in 2012. And then we had trouble finding sponsors for it initially. And so in 2016, the Navy, because of budget cuts, we couldn't fund it anymore, and so they put it up in layup up in Virginia. And I went on my way. I cried my tears. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this deployable system, which is a one-of-a-kind system for the Navy, and kind of went my way. About a year later, a buddy of mine that was now in a position to where he could fight for bringing it back called me up and asked me to come back and help him bring it back. And so in 2017, we brought it out of layup, got shipped it back here. In 2018 was our we recertified it. 2018 was our first mission using it. So we've done probably 4 missions out in the Gulf on various vessels, and then this one last year was kind of our big one, where we proved that we can send it overseas, set it up, and dive out of it.
We've got several, we spoke about it before, but we've got several new board members who all come with fresh ideas and new things that we're wanting to do. Guest speakers is one of them. Thank you, Eric, for you arranged this, correct, Eric? Yeah. Let's see. We're also we're wanting to get guest speakers. We're also looking into a way of getting food other than pizza provided. So let me make sure it's still recording. Am I on? Yeah, I'm on. Okay. So we're looking for ways of getting food sponsored or provided by other people other than Little Caesars. Pizza. So, and then it's been a long meeting, so I'm just going to cover a few things, and then we'll let everyone just kind of chit chat and talk. Let's see. Upcoming is the Low Country Boil, which is Saturday, what? November 16th. Okay, so Saturday, November 16th, Low Country Boil. If you're a member and if you're in the Facebook group, there's an event. If you're not, just shoot us a message and we'll get you the information. If you're not on Facebook, get a hold of us somehow and we'll get you the information. So that's Saturday, November 16th. The location details are on the event. I don't want to put them out on the video. Let's see. And that Low Country Boil, for those that don't know, it'll be shrimp, potatoes, corn, mushrooms, I guess. With Cajun seasoning, of course, and we always do up a huge pot of shrimps and taters and stuff like that, and it's a good time. We normally have a huge show out for that. So
Could
if
Mike
you're
come?
definitely, yeah, definitely. And by all means, bring a family member or a friend. If you're going to do that, though, let us know so that we can plan accordingly number-wise. Let's see. Christmas party. The Christmas party will be, what did we decide?
Saturday, December 7th.
Saturday, December 7th. Again, the details will be in the event in the Facebook group, and I'll also try and send it out to a members-only email.
We
We-
managed to miss the boat parade this year, so.
Yeah, we
not
did it
plan
on,
top of
we
that.
did it on Saturday, December 7th, so we didn't have to hear you, that's right, you, complaining about the boat parade being in conjunction. So, that's right, little Kenya, I see you out there. Let's see. So those are the two big events. We're also wanting to start really pushing our Aquanauts program. Our Aquanauts program is a program whereby we team up with Boys and Girls Club of Bay County, and we raise money and we get them Discovery Scuba courses so that they can experience that and hopefully kind of encourage them to get in the sport. Might give them an opportunity that they otherwise wouldn't have had.
The goal this year is 12 kids.
Yeah, this year we're aiming to get 12 kids to Discover Scuba course and get them out there, let them see what it's like to go diving, and maybe we'll be recruiting next generation of divers. Let's see. Aquanauts. And every meeting we're going to start, we have the little Aquanauts donation jar. We're going to start having that at every meeting and every event. So bring your spare change and dollar bills and preferably larger bills and donate to the Aquanauts program. That way we can fund this. And yeah, I think it's going to be great.
And if you want to donate via check or card, you can also do that.
Yeah, we can accept.
Charles, how much is it to sponsor one?
5 in every so
75,
really actually
75 per.
adds up.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna
it's
certify them
$125 for 2
until.
kids.
Oh, sorry.
warmer
It's
weather.
125 for 2 kids.
Oh, 125 for 2 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, 125 for 2 kids.
That's
So-
how the math works.
yeah.
Is that because some of it's being donated? Because that's pretty
Yeah,
reasonable.
because
Yeah, so
Because-
it's normally 125 per kid, but Pat's cutting the cost in half.
Doing it, okay.
Yeah, so that's our great sponsor, you know, helping get kids out there. So if you don't have a dive shop that you're dedicated to, or if you do, I'm just saying, Panama City Diving is an awesome dive shop.
I feel like you should be unfurling something, man.
Just saying. They have cookies. Alright, so anyone else have anything? Questions, comments? How's everyone like the idea of guest speakers?
Loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very good.
What's everyone think about changing it up from pizza?
Yeah.
Hey, I like the pizza, thank you. Cause you know why? It's the best type of pizza. It's free pizza. Same way with the beer. Free beer. So, alright, if no one has anything to add, we'll call it a wrap.
That's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
If anybody needs